Okay, here we go. Another exciting Tuesday night. That's good? Woo woo, woo. So last week I was talking about, remember what I was talking about last week? When you guys asleep, didn't pay attention.
I don't think that was here.
Networking. How do you do networking successfully?
Right.
So one of the things I talked about was you have to have a valuable final product. So what's a valuable final product? It's a product that's finished and it's valuable to somebody else.
Exchangeable.
That's right. So this pen is a product because it's a final product because it can write. And if I were to exchange this with somebody for $10, that would make it valuable, right?
Yep. Or
So
a fool.
Or a fool, that's right. So you have to have a valuable final product. And the other thing that I talked about was your elevator
Oh, yeah, right.
pitch. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Here's your elevator pitch. Okay? So also last week I talked about the 4 things that you need to do if you're going to successfully network. And I'm going to just reiterate this stuff because this way I can go right into tonight's lecture. So the first thing you need to do is figure out where like-minded people are. Okay?
Yeah.
So what do they need to be like-minded to? Do you remember? What's a like-minded person?
Someone who thinks like you do or thinks they want your gift.
That's right. Very good, buddy. So the second part is the one that we're using. So you don't want to go, so if I work for Lenny, and Lenny owns a hair salon, and his interest and passion is to make the hair salon successful. But if I'm one of his employees, maybe my interest might be something different, right? So you don't want to go to a networking meeting that has your personal interest, unless your personal interest is the thing that you're selling. What you want to do is you want to go to a networking meeting with like-minded people based on your VFP. So if your valuable final product is you're a plumber, then where are you going to go? To meetups where people might talk about plumbing.
Or home shows where people.
Right, home shows where they might need plumbing. But the point is that, you know, I could have a mad passion to be a business owner, and I could go to a meetup and have, you know, or a meeting or a networking meeting, and there's a bunch of business owners there. What's the likelihood of one of them needing a plumber? Maybe, but not as high as, like you said, if you went to like a meeting that had was a home show where people were like interested in building houses or buying houses or
Remodeling houses.
Remodeling houses, that's right. Right.
Call Jeff Merritt or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or, to your point, Lenny, go to a home show that has contractors that would hire plumbers. Right, like Jeff Merritt. Yeah, so you would go where they're, but the point is you want to go where the like-minded people are to your valuable final product. Okay? Number 2, you need to figure out what your BFB is. That should really be number 1, but. All right, so you really need to narrow it down to what do you do. And I don't mean what you like to do. I mean what's exchangeable. So one of the ways that you can find out if you don't have a product, one of the things that you can figure out is what do people want. So in that particular case, you would survey people. You would go to places where people might want your product or might be willing to pay $10 for a pen, right? So if my valuable final product is a pen, one of the meetups or one of the places I'm going to go to do networking would be maybe an art show. Or if they use the pen like I'm using it tonight, maybe a place that's that does lectures. And they teach, you know, like what do they call it, Toastmaster event or something like that, right? The reason why I put, figure out where like-minded people are before I put where the VFP is because you may not know what your valuable client or product is. You might have to go out and talk to people and figure out what it is that they want that's valuable. You might have to figure that out before you figure out your VFP. Right? Like, Lenny, what's your VFP?
Great looking hair with satisfied customers that are taking products.
Yeah. Or people that feel good about what their hair looks like. Doesn't even have to be great looking. It doesn't even have to be that way. It's just that they feel like that. So people that feel like they have good looking hair.
Or feel better about the way they look.
Feel better about the way they look. And willing to buy products for the maintenance of that.
Yeah.
Right? That's your VFP, is they feel good about the way they look and they buy products to maintain that look. Right? Good, so number 3, we talked about this last week, because I'm just recapping. You have to have an intro service, introductory service. I hope I spelled that right. So if you're going, what's that?
Good job.
Did I spell it right? Good. So, thank you. So, like in my particular case, my company does marketing. My main marketing is online, although I also do copywriting, I do direct mail, I do a lot of things. But one of my main services is I rank people in Google. So I'm a search engine optimization guy. So if I were to go into a meetup or a meeting, like tomorrow morning I'm going to Rocky Hill, 7 a.m. in a clubhouse, and there's about 30 guys there. Okay? All different businesses, contractors and webmasters and all kinds of different businesses. So when they say to me, what do you do? If I just said what I just said to them, what do you think would happen? Well, I do search engine optimization.
You and about 20 other people in the room.
First of all, it's one of those things where everybody thinks they know how to do it. Which is not true, but everybody thinks they know how to do it. The IT guy thinks he knows how to do it. The webmaster thinks he knows how to do it. I was in a meetup several weeks ago. I went 3 weeks in a row. It was a great meetup. I really enjoyed it. In fact, it was a few $100s a year for me to join, and I was ready to join. You know why I couldn't join? I got kicked out of the club. Because they run it like a business, a BNI, business networking group. There was somebody else that did SEO. And who it was? The Record Journal in Marion. It's a newspaper company. Mm-hmm. And they offer SEO for their clients. So because that's what she does, I wasn't allowed in the group. Now,
who were their clients? Advertisers?
Exactly. That's my point. It was totally strange to me because I'm thinking there is no way that the Record Journal does what I do. I just know that. I put a lot of time and effort. I mean, I'm working on a site for a client. I just wrote 10,000 words of copy, optimized copy for this customer. They're in Florida. 10,000 words. Most of my websites these days rank top 20 positions without me even doing off-page SEO. Most of it's with on-page SEO, but just writing the right copy, having the right links, just doing what Google likes, real white hat, and I write the right copy, and I just put up a website, a brand new website, 2 weeks ago for a client. It'll be 2 weeks on Thursday. I've got 15 keywords. 12 or 13 of those keywords are ranked in the top 15 positions. And it's only been 2 weeks. Okay? And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying that I don't think the Record Journal is doing that. I just don't see that. You know, so my point is I'm in an industry where, everybody thinks they can do it. Okay? So if I go into the meetup and I say I'm an SEO guy, first thing that happens is they associate me with people that I shouldn't be associated with, right?
Mhm.
Second of all, that's not a unique selling proposition, right? So often what I'll say when somebody says to me, what do you do? I say, oh, I'm a Google partner, which I am. And they say, oh yeah, what does that mean? Well, often people have websites that talk and nobody listens to them. So what I do is I find the listeners. So when the website's talking, they actually talk to somebody that means something to them.
Mhm.
And it usually brings in a lead to the customer. Oh, tell me more about that. You see, that's an elevator pitch. It's a little different than saying, oh, I'm just an SEO guy. Is that a good example?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so the last one is, which I just covered, making an elevator pitch. Oh, I didn't cover this. I got off on a tangent. So the introductory service. So, you know, if I really do a heavy site, I could do a site $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, $1,800 a month for SEO if it's full blown. Okay, there's cheaper ways to do it, but full blown. The minimum is $700, $800. So if I go to a meetup and I tell the guy, he says, "Oh, how much does that cost?" Which you probably won't even get to that conversation, and I tell him it's $800. What just happened? For $1,500. Jeff, if I was at a meeting with you and I told you I do SEO, and you says, "Oh yeah," and then I tell you I'm $1,500 a month, what would you think? I don't need that. Right. What the hell do I need that for?
Right.
You know, that's out of my league. I don't need any of that. Right? Truth of the matter is what's your average job worth? 30,000, 50, 80, how much is it worth?
100.
100,000.
Yeah.
So if I brought you one client, if you paid me $2,000 a month, that would be $24,000, and I brought you one client a month. Isn't that worth it?
Yeah, as long as it's in that range, yeah.
See what I'm saying? All of a sudden, the conversation is altogether different because now you're enlightened.
Right.
Now you have a little bit more information to think with.
Yep.
So the point is, you need to be able to have this conversation not in a 7 o'clock meeting when you're just there trying to meet people.
Right.
So how do you do that? And the thing that we do is we do it with introductory offers. So in my particular case, Jeff is a contractor, and I happen to know he has this because I've already checked it, but I could simply say to him, "Hey Jeff, are you registered with Google?" Well, what do you mean? Are you registered? I mean, Google, think of it this way. When you read a book, and it's a 500-page book, and you want to find out what's in the book, suppose you want to find out about shoelaces, and you go on the back of the book, and there's an index, right? And you look up shoelaces, and it'll say, oh, shoelaces. On page 150, there's information about shoelaces. So you know that you're in the book, and you can go to page 150, and you can get information on shoelaces. It's exactly what Google does with the World Wide Web. It goes out, and it looks at all the pages that are out there, and it indexes it for you. So when you type into the search engine shoelaces, it says, oh, there's a website over here about shoelaces. It's a little bit more complex than that. I don't need to get involved with that, but that's the gist of what the search engine does for you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you indexed with Google? And this is the conversation. What I'm telling you right now is the conversation I'm going to have with the guy. Are you indexed with Google? Especially with your local stuff. Are you locally recognized by Google? Does he know that you're on 123 Main Street? No, I don't think I've ever done that. Well, you know what? I can do that for you. I can go check it. It won't cost you any money. And if it's not, it'll cost you $20 for me to index you and build you a Google Plus page and put your name, address, and phone number on it so Google knows where you are. Is that something that I might be able to do in a meetup or a meeting? Yeah. But I also built I built some sort of a relationship with the guy. I'm going to do some work with him. I'm going to see him next week. You know, I'm going to have more reason to talk to him. And what am I going to do when I'm talking to him? As I'm talking to him, just like I did with Jeff a few minutes ago, I'm going to say, you know, blah blah blah. I'm going to give him more information, and he's going to get more familiar with what my product is. So you need to do the same thing for your product. You need to be able to figure out what introductory service you can do so somebody can come in and test drive your product and they can find out what you're like, what your product's like, and they can get more enlightened. Okay, because the more you can enlighten them, the better off you are. You know, I read in a book one time, I don't remember where it was, so I can't give the name of the quote, but people believe in what they understand. Right? So if somebody doesn't understand what search engine optimization is, they can't believe in it. They don't think they need it. Truth of the matter is if you've got a job that's an average $100,000 job, and I can bring you one job a month, and I can bring you, say, not even one job a month, say I can bring you 5 jobs next year and raise your income by $500,000. Why wouldn't you pay me $24,000 to do that? It's a foolish move on your part. You're just not enlightened in that arena. That's all. You don't know that you can do that. Right?
Yep.
Good. So we covered all that?
Yep.
Because I have to move on to what I promised that I would give you this week, which was, last week I told you I was going to help you figure out how to get a DFP, or how to get an elevator pitch. Remember that? You don't.
Yep. I remember.
All right. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You can do this by yourself, but I prefer you don't, just because it's better with a couple people. But there's 2 things we need to talk about. One thing is features. The other is benefits. What's the difference? You know? Yes?
Well, benefits answers the what's in it for me part,
Right.
and the features would be why they would want it.
Good. So, how many people open their own business because they're a good blogger? Right? Like you, Lenny, you're a hair salonist, right?
Yep.
So you opened your business because you were a good hair salonist. Wasn't necessarily because you were a good business person. You were just a good hair salonist. Probably working for somebody else and thought, they're making all this money and I'm doing all the work. Why don't I open my own place so I can keep the money? It's usually how it goes.
Yep.
Problem is that most business owners, because they're the technical person or the person who knows how to do the delivery on the valuable final product, what do they talk about? All the technical aspects of that thing.
Yeah, what it is that they do.
You want to get a good picture of this? Talk to a chiropractor. They're famous for that. Slinging around these $5 words and $20 words, and by the time you get 3 or 4 minutes in, most of them, you don't even know what they're talking about. At least for me, anyways. I don't know about you guys.
Some relaxation.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And they go off on all these technical terms. And I'm definitely picking on chiropractors. I wish I had 1 or 2 of them in the room because we would have fun with that right now. Point is if you keep hammering the features and not the benefits, then you're not going to keep the person you're talking to interested. So you need to be able to figure out what are the benefits of any single thing. Here's what you do to do that. 1, get a few people together. Actually, I don't need to write that down. Get a few people together. Put them in a room. Any kind of room. Kitchen table, coffee table, take them out for dinner. I don't care. Get 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people and put them in the same room. It doesn't even have to be connected to the business, but they should be familiar with the product and maybe have some familiarity with it and maybe at one point either use the product or at least know about it, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to list all the features. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Give me some features of your business, honey, of your product, technical stuff. Or Jeff, I don't care.
Healthy hair.
Well, that would be a benefit. I want features.
Feature. removes frizz.
I think that's still a benefit, but how about like some of the chemicals you use or the procedure you use? You have procedures you use?
Damage-free hair color
Okay,
would be a feature.
okay,
Or no ammonia hair color would be a feature.
okay.
And then the benefit would be no damage, more shine, more reflection.
Right, exactly. So just because I'm familiar with it, let's move over. Those are great examples. Let's just move over because we're talking about search engine optimization. So first of all, what is a feature? Search engine optimization alone is a feature, right? What the hell is it? Right? Words like algorithm, right? You guys heard these words before? How about robots or bots?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How about this one? Keywords. Right? Are these features? These are all features, right? What do they mean to the customer? What do they mean to you?
Diddly squat.
Crap, right? So how do we change those into benefits? Here's what we do. This is the magic. You get these 4 or 5 people in a room and you make this list. And I would make it as robust or as long as you can. Okay? Once you have that list, what you're going to do is with these 4 or 5 people, you're going to ask this question for each one of these. And you have to ask it very, very specific. Don't leave any words out. So it's what this means to you is. What this means to you is. So SEO, Lenny, what this means to you is what? SEO.
What it means to me is that when people are searching for what I've got, if it's done correctly, then they're going to find it.
Okay, so find my shit, right? My stuff online. Make sense? Okay. How about this one? What this means to you is an algorithm. What this means to you is what?
Some bull ticky thing that Yelp set up to lie to you when they want your advertising dollars.
That's not a benefit, but I got it. What this means to you is what? Algorithm is so so Yelp didn't deliver.
I don't know what an algorithm is. All I know is that they're using an algorithm to generate something, and
The same one, to find me.
but I never got, like, how does it do it? Why does it do it? It's some sort of thing that's set up that supposedly tells them if a review is genuine or a critique is genuine or where it's coming from, but
What does programming mean to you? The word programming when it comes to software.
the code that someone writes in to get something on the net to do what they want it to do.
That's an algorithm. It's a mathematical code that it's the robot. That's the robot. It's a program. It's a mathematical code that tells it what to do.
So there's multiple algorithms out there.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again. It does what?
It's code. It's a program, a code or program code, a mathematical process that does whatever you tell it to do. It's a robot.
So you go stick it in there, and then any data that comes in is read by this thing, and the criteria that's in the code will determine if
The output.
the data that came in is good or bad or indifferent, and is it going to send it where you want it to, where I would want it to go, or is it gonna say, it doesn't have everything that we said it has to have, so it throws it in the trash.
Exactly. So if you understand how the algorithms are written, then you can get better results. Right?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Google hides the algorithms.
Of course they do.
Why does Google hide the algorithms?
So SEO people can't find them and get their people on the top.
Why? How does Google follow the money? How does Google make money?
By selling shit to the,
By selling ads to people that are frustrated and can't figure out how to rank organically.
right,
So if they hide the algorithms and the robots and don't tell anybody what the secret formula is to rank somebody organically and keep it a mystery and constantly change it, then they'll sell more ads. What a business plan, huh?
yeah, something conniving about that, but
All right, so let's get off this technical stuff with search engine optimization. The bottom line is you get a handful of people with all your features and you ask the question, what this means to you is. And you'll end up with a list of benefits. And like we started to have happen here, you'll notice that this benefit and this benefit are very similar. Because basically what happens is the features, all the features come out to how can somebody find me online? That becomes your valuable final product and eventually will get turned into your elevator pitch.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the features, because the features turn into benefits and benefits are the same thing as value. They're connected. Value and feature is the same. I mean, value and benefits, they're synonyms. They're synonymous of one another. Because a benefit and a value is the same thing. Make sense?
No beans.
So you get a bunch of people together with a yellow notebook, you list out all the people in your business. You should ask them, what are all the features? You get all the features listed out, and then get a bunch of people together and ask them this key question here. What this means to you is, and you're going to come up with benefits. Once you have benefits, then you can start talking to people in your meetup. And oh yeah, by the way, wouldn't it make sense that if you knew what the benefits were, that you can actually figure out what an introductory offer is going to be?
Mm-hmm.
One of the most common things I run into around here with introductory offers is guys will take their main service and cheapen it and make it their introductory service. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So give me an example how somebody would do that.
You get it in crosswise?
Well, like, we'll take Lenny. Lenny's, we'll say an average haircut in Lenny's place is $150.
Right.
How do you make an introductory service out of that?
well, a lot of times what somebody would do is offer for the first time, say they get it for $100 and they save $50.
But that doesn't help, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up, is because the business owner is not going to want to continue to keep giving away $50. So what happens is his introductory services die out because the owner puts all these restrictions on it because he doesn't want to lose $50 every time he does a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
But as an opportunity for first-time users, as a way, it's like you were saying, would $1,500 a month be worth a client that spends $100,000?
Right.
So if they get in for $50 off the first time and become a repeat user, then it makes it beneficial. But if you do it in such a way where you get wham bam thank you ma'ams of a lot of people coming in, it's Groupon and all of those do the same thing. Where the owner takes the shaft, the client gets it for $5, and they come in because it's $5 and you never see them.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up Groupon, because that's a perfect example.
There's Groupon whores, if you will, and that's how they live their life. Is they'll go to a spa, they'll go to an automotive dealer, they'll go to a restaurant, they'll go to wherever when they're getting it for a nickel, but then they never go back.
Right. So, I'll cover this next week in the networking. I'll do one more week of networking, we'll cover this, because there's not enough time for me to cover it tonight. But my point is this. An introductory offer, if you were clever, should be something that is not a lesser, is not
Lesser value.
a lesser value of your service.
Yeah.
Now, in your particular case,
Okay.
you could make a video or a series of videos that show the before and after, and show how your technique is, show what you're doing, show the scissors you use, show the curling irons you do, show the dye that you use, whatever. But it would show the procedure.
Right.
If you were clever, you would make it do one of two things. If there were so many steps that they'd rather just have you do it, or they actually want you because they know what you're talking about.
Right.
So maybe you sell on Groupon, you sell for $10 a kit, an electronic kit that shows them how they can do some of these things. And it could be a series of videos. It could be something as simple as going into Facebook and having a private Facebook group with many people on it giving advice. Like, Jeff, that would be great for your business. You know, if people have questions about moving buildings and contractor stuff, you could put videos in there, you could put files in there, and they get invited to your Facebook group, your private Facebook group. It's by invitation only. And they could pay $10 for that a year, or $20 a year. Okay?
Huh.
It could be doing some analysis for somebody. Let's say, like Lenny, you could do an analysis for someone. They don't even have to come to the hair salon. They could send a couple pieces of hair in the mail to you, and you can have it analyzed and know exactly what they need for shampoo and what they need for conditioner, and actually send them an order back. I'm being outside of the box, but the point is, when you do introductory services like that, you're capturing the identities, and they're giving you a reason to talk to them. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we'll talk about that again. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah? No? No, we don't have to.
Fine.
What I want to end off with is a few websites that you can use to actually meet people. First one is meetup.com. That's a big one. Another one is Connecticut, spelled out. Business Connections. Connections.org. Another one is bnict.com. This one's a really nice one. csbng.com. and promatcher.com. These are all local right here in Connecticut. There are more. I just kind of checked a few of these out.
Business connection. You know that?
I don't know them personally. I just know that they have a pretty nice site. Why?
No.
Did you use them?
No, I don't. No.
So Connecticut Business Connection was a very nice looking site. I've actually contacted all these people, and I'm going to start using them so I can give you guys a report on it. Meetup.com is the one I use a lot. We get a lot of people from Meetup.com. Meetup.com is a cool site because you end up meeting, even if you don't go, you have to go to the meetings because that's the point of it. But I've met a lot of people that are in my industry and are looking for work, and we swap work back and forth just on Meetup.com, just by having a group.
Is that one word, Connecticut Business Connection?
Yeah, .org. There's BNI Connecticut, csbng.com, and promatcher.com. There's also another one called networkconnecticut.com. And these are all places that you can go. They have meetings, they have weekly meetings, monthly meetings, and you can go use some of these things that we're talking about. Okay, guys?
Yep.
So I went a little bit
Just
longer.
write it down.
I'm about 5 minutes over tonight, so I'm gonna end off. Next week, I'm gonna do the last segment of networking. So it was a 3-part series. This is the second part. So next Tuesday night, 7 p.m., dial in. And I'm gonna give you some more stuff. We're gonna cover next week, some of these websites again. And then, your introductory offer, what you can do for introductory offers, and how you would set that up and automate it a little bit so that it's not taking away from your valuable time. Okay?
Yep.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, this guy's got a good site, huh?